Okay. So, Gozani, my name is Gokonomi, and today I'll be interviewing Denise Suttie. So just to give you guys context, Denise is actually my yoga instructor. I met her, I think when I moved into the area and I decided that I would like to take on yoga. So I'd been just passing by this house, and the one day I realized, wait, there's like a yoga instructor just here in my road, and I decided that maybe I should actually just sign up, So I decided to sign up, but also when I was there, I realized that Denise also does tarot, and I think my sister is more the one that's interested in tarot. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to sort of get to know Denise. And the more I interact with her, the more I realize that, oh my gosh, like this lady for me is like what in the African sense we would call a gobela, someone who's very spiritually inclined, is very able and capable to teach about spirituality as a whole. And I decided to ask Denise after the last time I saw her to say, actually, can we please meet and can I do like an interview with you, sit a bit on the channel, see what resonates with you. But I would love to have a conversation with Denise. So today I'm introducing Denise to everyone who's listening. And I feel that I want you to be open-minded because, I'll see different people and energy will direct me. But I have this strong thing of I wanted to sit down with Denise and just introduce her to you guys, just in case one of you guys will need her help. And also for you to look at spirituality as more open than closed. So, Denise, I've introduced you a bit, but I think may you please just introduce yourself, the work you do. Like, who is Denise?
Right, okay. Am I to call you Nomi now?
No, you can call me Nofundo. That's my name.
And thank you very much for inviting me here today. I've felt that connection kind of pretty early from when I met you.
Okay.
And I think it kind of enhanced when we did the tarot and you sent me more people. So I'm very happy that you invited me.
Yes,
thank you so much. So a little about me. I suppose I've always been spiritual. We all are.
Mm.
But the real, I would say, moment came in 2000 when I was involved in a very bad car accident and my neck was broken.
Yeah.
There, it was like my proverbial kick in the bum. I realized there was more to life. I was being told something. So I continued to explore in depth what I'd been doing before, different religions, different ways of expressing spirituality, different ways of healing.
Yeah.
Myself first.
Wow.
And that's kind of where the journey I won't say started, but that was a pivotal point.
That's so interesting. So was that what influenced then your decision to have a studio, or did the studio exist even before that?
No, the studio didn't exist before. That was the moment when I also took up yoga. Wow. Because before it was very much contact sports, squash and tennis and vigorous stuff. And of course, I couldn't do it. It took me a long time to recover from the accident. And I thought I need something different. Wow. And I don't believe anything is coincidental, as we've talked about. I was guided to yoga. That's
interesting. So for me, I'd like to know, because I went into yoga because I felt like I need an outlet, I'm always helping other people and I never just take the time to just stop, right? But what would you say people should be using yoga for outside of this?
Look, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
Having experienced now my own studio for 12 years, about plus, and taught since 2009 and been involved for 20 plus years.
Wow.
People often come to yoga, number one, for physical exercise.
Which I hate.
That's their kind of thing.
Yeah.
People sometimes come because of stress.
Yeah.
Because they want to de-stress and relax. Some people actually come because it's part of their spiritual journey. But I would say a lot of people don't get to that part until months down the line.
Yeah.
Sometimes even years.
That's crazy. Because like for me, like what I was saying to you before we started is that when you'd have the sessions, I'd be like, where am I going? Why do I feel like I'm going to like a completely different place? So every time I would leave, I would literally feel elevated in a sense. And I would feel like, okay, now I'm scared to go back because I don't know if everybody around me has the same thing, but my body will just go to a completely different place. But it's a peaceful place. It's just that when I'm back, I'm like, I wonder if, there's more levels to this, because every time I come back, I'm sort of like drunk, but in a good spiritual way. And I wondered if other people have that, or am I the only one who's just...
No, you're definitely not the only one. People are sometimes frightened by it. Emotions come out. I've seen a lot of people crying on the mat. That happens because if you remember, we've talked about yoga. It's not only physical.
Yes.
You work on the mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. So it releases what we store.
That's interesting.
In the body.
I love that. And then in terms of the tarot, how did you also come into that? Because obviously when I just came for yoga, but I was so interested in this aspect because I feel like we've been taught as traditional healers to sort of see everything in such a straight line, and sometimes you do need to not see it in straight lines. And I loved how you teach tarot because the imagery and everything, actually, I've been using it. But I've been using it a lot with children, so I've found that when I have to help children, suddenly my guides are like, take the cards out so you can show them the picture.
Which they would relate to, the pictures and the colors.
Yes.
And the story.
Yes. And so I sort of built the story in that way. But I'm like, it's crazy how I saw Denise once and then I could do this with pictures, and they often will then be able to relate. But I just want to know, what's your story with
the tarot? Okay, so the journey started with the yoga. And as I grew and as I developed, I kind of felt I wanted something else to offer.
Yeah.
And again, I went on I think it was a weekend tarot course, did some online stuff. And I found for me personally, which is how I can actually relate to what I need to share with others.
Yes.
That it helped me, guide me with a little message as to where my energy was, or where I might be going.
So is that like on a daily basis or just when you help others?
No, I like to draw a card for myself every day, most days.
Does that not scare you?
No, because remember we've talked at the tarot about the fact that a card's neither good nor bad.
Yes.
It's indicating for me what the day might bring.
So it's just that day that you look at it. Yes. You don't look at it in a longer context.
Not often. I will sometimes sit with my good friend, and we've done a lot of these things together, and do like a year's spread or an overview or something like that.
That's so cool. So I think more than anything, now that we're talking about the tarot, I've spoken a bit about yoga. I just want to know on a holistic level, if we have to speak about the kind of healing that you do, what would you explain it to be? Because I have my idea in my mind, but I just want someone who's listening to sort of understand.
Okay. Well, I'll remind you also that I do reiki.
Yes. I want us to get there.
Yes. Okay. Which is also a form of energy healing. Basically, what I feel I'm doing, and on your behalf, probably a lot too. It's about energy. It's about working with spirit in whatever way we term spirit. Your practices, ancestors. I tend to believe in energy and reincarnation. It actually doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
I think it's also similar, right? Because I resonate more with energy. So even in my interviews, people would ask me a question and I would sort of explain it in terms of energy instead of, I just feel like we attach labels maybe because there isn't a particular word to call it. But like when I look at it, for me, it's like different kinds of energies at different times. So I relate a lot with the energy, which is also why I was interested, because I'm like, I've had someone tell me that I need to go and like study Reiki at some point, and then when I eventually met you, I thought, this is crazy. So now they're just going to bring me to it. They're not going to like, sort of like, oh, here's a dream. No, some things it's like you meet people physically and then you understand later, oh, okay, so the next phase maybe is Reiki then, because we've discussed that to say, well, now I've done a bit of tarot, maybe now I should do the Reiki. But I think, so are you basically saying you have classes on Reiki as well, and then you have yoga, or how does the Reiki work?
Yes, I offer treatments to people for their healing. Reiki being, as we've said, energy healing, energy balancing.
Yeah.
Because the body is often out of sync, which causes problems physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So the Reiki, which is hands-on healing, is the flow of energy directed from source through me, my hands, to the person. And yes, I do teach Reiki as well.
Wow.
But the person needs to be pretty committed.
Yeah.
It's not something you're just going to play at.
Yeah.
If you don't feel the calling, the resonating.
Yes.
If you're thinking, now I should be doing this, it's not really going to work for you. But we all have that healing energy. In our hands.
Yes.
We have that energy.
Wow.
Every single one of us.
So what types of things would you go to Reiki for then? Like, is it like if you have an illness, or how would it work?
I would say predominantly in the way the world is at the minute, it's usually stress or fear related.
Yeah.
Which can manifest as illness. I don't profess to heal the physical body, but it will release the blocks, which often then cause the physical illness. And it will bring that person, hopefully, a more peaceful frame of mind.
Yeah.
That they can actually deal with life.
Wow.
Which is exactly what yoga does as well.
Okay. So, because this is so fascinating to me, like how you were led to all of these things. So we normally would dream, right? Do you have those things where like you've had dreams being directed into these paths, or did you just wake up and resonate?
No, I think with the Reiki, it might have been one time I was with my daughter at an esoteric type fair, which I've attended as long as I can remember.
Yes.
And somebody was offering or doing like a few minutes
of Reiki.
And I really felt that resonate in my body. I think that was what made me.
That is so hectic.
That was quite a long, not a long time, but a couple of years before.
Yeah. And then on a spiritual level, because people ask me this, right? Like, how are you a traditional healer and like your family's like Christian or whatever? Did you grow up in the space where alternative healing or these methods were allowed?
Not really. Well, I won't say not really. I was brought up in a very Christian home. My mom was the most, when I say amazing Christian, she lived her truth.
Yes.
She was not a hypocrite.
Yeah, you've said this to me before.
She was a prayer warrior, and she would not ever say anything bad or see anything bad in somebody. So that kind of feeling was passed on. I certainly went to Sunday school and all those good things. I loved the Bible story.
Yeah.
But I started questioning.
Yes.
Very much from quite a young age.
Same as me.
and even from kind of high school days, that's when I started exploring other religions.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting. And I decided that Christianity was not my path.
Yeah.
I've got nothing against it. I've got nothing against any religion, provided the person is not forcing it on anyone else or doing harm.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, for my mom, it brought her immense comfort and immense joy. It didn't do that for me. So, I mean, I've been to the Buddhist temple in Bronkhorstspruit for I don't know how many retreats to open my mind up. I've done lots of stuff, and I've come to the conclusion that I don't actually have to name what I am.
You are.
I see myself as a spiritual being.
Yes, same here.
But not.
Yeah, unfortunately, society does box
we
us.
label.
Yes, and it's like I think that you realize later, like maybe I don't even resonate with that boxing, but I'll just go with it because that's what is supposed to be in my world or in my universe, you know. But this is so interesting because my best friend was very, very Christian, you know, and we would argue so much about the Bible at school. Like, I think she thought I had an issue with the Bible.
Yes.
I didn't. I just wanted to make more sense
of when these stories, and people would get angry when I would say, it's a story. It's explaining wonderfully, but it's a story. It's man-made.
Yes, and I explained this actually recently to a few friends of mine that I believe in the Bible, you know, but I believe in it from a perspective of these are things that other people have gone through, and we should then be able to strengthen ourselves knowing that other people have been through similar situations, sort of like someone else's testimony of their life, and then being able to apply
sharing
it.
And teaching. And the message that his message was about love. And how many times has humankind been offered that?
Yeah. It's very, very interesting because I think at the time she obviously thought like, why is she like this? She's so crazy. And I'm like, no, it's not even that. It's just that I like to probe. And sometimes I feel like there's also so many similarities with us and the other spiritual gifts that it's like, it's so weird then how Christianity would say all of this doesn't exist, you know? And for me, that's always been the gray area.
A problem for me, because many other religions are far more accepting.
Yes.
Of whoever and whatever. Let them be.
Yeah. I think it's important as well. I'm seeing it also with my sister and how her gift is so different to mine. And I'm like, this is so interesting. So that's where when you ask me if I believe in past lives and whatever, I sort of said yes, because I've noticed that. So with my sister, she has a lot of like Indian sort of background, but that's with her guides, and we from the same family, you know.
And that's where her kind of likings and preferences are.
Yes.
Mine are definitely also in that Middle East kind of area.
So I think that also opened me up to like a different world altogether. And I think for me growing up, I've always saw my dad. A part of my dad's family is Scottish, but even growing up, people would always say you behave so much like a white person. And for me, it obviously didn't make sense, you know, like, okay, what's the difference? Now I realize that my resonance is a lot more towards that, but it's really because I come a little bit from there.
Well, we've all got, I mean, I can't even tell you what different blood I have.
Yeah.
We have got, well, we've got the blood of ages.
Yes. So it's, I think, scary because why I like having these conversations is because I like to see the differences and I like to see the similarities. But I think what I want to ask you is, because for me, I feel like healing is so hard, you know, what is the thing that makes you continue down this path as opposed to just going the complete opposite way?
For me, it's when I see somebody have what I call a light bulb moment, your experience that you shared, how you feel so much better after a class. If I can offer even that much to somebody and they feel better, then I feel my job is here.
That's so beautiful. And then what does like the future for Denise look like?
Well, the future, I'm very excited about the work we're doing together. In fact, I have been talking about it with kind of mixed feelings,
Yes.
but I mean, I knew that.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody is possibly as open as we are. I'm very excited about that. I'd like to actually explore a bit more. As I say, I'm probably going to spend more time in the studio now.
Yes.
Especially with the kiddies yoga.
Nice.
I will not actually be teaching that, but it'll be
facilitated in your studio. Yeah. And how is that different to the one for adults? Because I saw the poster and I thought, oh, this is very cool, actually.
Well, with children like you do, you work with stories. You cannot really expect a young child to sit through a formal class.
Yes.
And be still and do the pose. Their attention span is
not the same as ours. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I struggle with the yoga classes. At first, I was like, I thought this looks so easy. People just stretch. And then it's like, wait, this actually does something to your body. And it's good because your breathing gets so much better. You know, but even your posture, I think I noticed that I sit better now, but I'm like, I did not realize that it was so heavy and so intense. And I was like, oh, okay. But I'm happy that at least I started, because at some point I'm like, oh, physical activity.
Which is maybe why sometime you must come to the Tuesday afternoon, which is the yin yoga.
Yeah, maybe.
That is gentle and you hold the stretches.
Interesting. I'll try that.
It's a different type of class.
Yeah.
It's very much what I would call, I mean, yoga you go within, but with the yin yoga, it is a personal, inward.
Beautiful.
Journey. What I call coming home.
Yeah, maybe for us it's coming home too. Because I also thought, I don't know, did you find it strange though that you'd be in the same street as the traditional healer? Because it's not just me.
No, not really. Because things happen when they're supposed to.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think I've been kind of thinking, where now? What now?
Yeah. Wow. So how many years have you had the studio now?
Studio in not only there, but the studio since 2011.
That's around when I was initiated. That's so, yeah.
We started in Mondial Place, just down here. But which, with COVID, things didn't kind of quite work out. And again, it was how it was meant to be.
Yeah. So with us, it's a different belief, right? With us, it's more like, because your home is where your guides rest, that is the best place to offer healing, because they sort of are always around the space, protecting the space. And that's why normally if we offer anything else and it's out of the space, it doesn't often do well.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So it's, even if I have a prayer here, I would first have everyone come here, set foot, maybe do a prayer that we're leaving to go somewhere. And then you find that it's more successful. But without them setting foot where I live or where my guides live, it's almost like not the same.
Look, talking about that, I believe, and I mean, I've been talking about energy. I feel the energy in my home.
Yes.
The good, the benevolent energy, shall we call that. I often feel my mom around.
That's beautiful.
Because she did, in her latter years, spend quite a lot of time with me.
Yeah.
So a very gentle spirit there.
Was she interested in birds? Because
she loved to sit and listen and watch them. As I say, it was a hard life for her because her hearing and her sight were very bad.
Oh, that's
which makes things
harder.
hard.
Yeah, especially if you've had it before. Yeah, I just thought it was weird how you spoke about her and they started again. I noticed them in the beginning when you got here, and then I was going to ask you about them. And then you spoke about your mom and they immediately started again.
And well, I've been thinking about her a lot. I think I told you when I came.
Yeah.
and kind of more so. And I think it's because of that gift that she's offered me. And I went home and thought about that gift. And I think it's saying to me now, be open.
Yes.
Take what people are offering without judging.
Yes, that's true. Beautiful, actually. Wow. Whew. I have shivers on my body. So I'm just like, it's such a beautiful gift that you have. And I think for me, I like it because it's limitless. You know, you don't have to fall into a category or a box.
Yeah.
And since you're here, I want to ask what you thought when I sent my initiates actually for the class.
I loved it. I loved that new raw energy.
Yeah.
And the power.
Yeah.
The ideas and the suggestions and the participation.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Very, very exciting, because I think they will probably use the tarot.
I think so
a fair
too.
bit.
Yeah, that's why I sent them. I thought like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe because they're part of a newer generation, this might actually help them. Beautiful. I want to see, my mind is like, you know, when your heart is actually full, but I don't know how to bring words to it. I want to just know, Denise, because there's a certain way in which you speak, right? You seem trained actually for speaking. What did you do before you were a healer?
I am a teacher.
Yeah, because I'm like, she sounds so...
I love words. I love to speak. I was actually trained as a grades teacher in Rhodesia.
Yeah.
I've taught pretty much in one form or another all my life. I love teaching. I love sharing.
Beautiful. So would you think that that's like your calling in life, just in general?
Teaching, yes.
Wow.
I knew from a little girl that I was going to teach.
How did you know?
I just knew this is what I'm going to do.
And were you always able to like speak in front of people, or did it just happen to you?
No, that's something you have to work on.
Yeah.
But I think dealing with children first, who are not as judgmental.
Yes, yes.
They accept.
Yes, they do.
It makes it easier. And I like to put my ideas across and share.
That's beautiful.
Invite people to share. So yeah, I don't think it's been a huge problem for me. I know for some people, public speaking or speaking is a challenge.
It's tough.
It's when I trained yoga teachers, that was one of the big things for them.
Yeah, it's quite tough.
Firstly, the projecting of the voice so people can hear you, and then actually speaking.
Yeah. People don't know, but it is quite tough. So I think for me, I know that you're going to do the yoga and whatever, but if you were to advise someone who feels that they've been called somehow, what is the advice that you as Denise would give someone?
Look, there are so many spiritual, energetic modalities. It's sometimes mind-blowing to know which to pick. I mean, in the early days, I spent many, many weekends, months, going from one thing to the other to see.
Yes, where you fit in and what resonates most with you.
So I would say to people, read, number one. Use these tools that we have, the social media. Discard what doesn't feel right for you. I mean, it's not all true just because it's online.
Yes.
Or because somebody's written about it.
I agree.
Or because somebody's telling you.
Yes.
It may not be your truth, but do something about it.
I'm going to ask you another weird question that keeps my mind. I know that you are married, you know, and this is something that we as traditional healers struggle with a lot. So we grew up actually knowing or being told that, you know, with relationships, we shouldn't hold out because it's very difficult to marry spiritual people. And so it's like, you always feel like, I don't know if that's going to happen for me. How did you find your partner and know that this was someone forever?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question, because Don is actually from South Africa, but we met and married in Rhodesia.
Yeah.
Because he was working there at the time. I would say, and I've told him this before, I think it's because he just never gave up. He said, we are going to be married.
Yeah.
And I wasn't actually that keen on him. I was very, very young. But we did get married. And we've had plenty of ups and downs, plenty of drama. In fact, we did get divorced.
Really?
But we are back together. And that needed to happen.
Yes. That's so crazy.
So the spirituality part of it, he is a very spiritual person. Men often, and I'll generalize a bit here, tend not to express it to the same extent as women do.
Yes.
We're far more emotional and, dare I say it, open.
Yeah.
But he's very happy about the things
that you do. Yes.
He's
so
a very
conflicted.
A very technical, scientific
person.
This is
logical.
Yes. But will happily embrace what I do. Not saying he would actually really be involved too much.
Yeah.
But he's quite happy that I do it. So it's been a very interesting journey, that as well.
How many years now?
That I've been married. Over 50 years.
Wow. That's like a lifetime. That's like forever.
It is.
Sharing your life with someone that long.
Yes. Look, a lot of this time, last 20 plus years, he's done expat work. So he's been away.
Yes.
Which in itself is hard.
Yes, it is hard. Very interesting. Yeah, because sometimes I have that question in my mind and I get to ask people, like, more around how did you find the balance between being a highly spiritual person and having a partner who sometimes even isn't spiritual?
Yes, and that happens, I think, a lot. And I think those are the times then where you either grow together,
or you go apart.
And it becomes too much of an issue.
Very interesting. But you've never come across in your space where people who are healers are said to be like, maybe, no, you guys don't get married, or?
No, it's more the church, the Catholic Church, which I have a problem with.
Yeah.
But let me not start on that. No, my understanding and knowledge and dealings with healers has been where it's part of your life, a big part.
Yes.
But certainly people get married or have, get married. People don't often get married these days. That's also fine.
Like life partnership.
Yes, they have relationships. They have a partner.
Love that. Very interesting. So that's like a very big interest point of mine, the relationship aspect, but more because I come from a family where most of the women don't get married. Or they do get married, but then they get divorced, you know? And it's like a code that I've been trying to crack because they're very dominant.
Well, this might be your family karma, your family stuff that you're carrying. Maybe it is time for you to break the pattern.
I don't know how. I wanted to break the pattern with my clients, not with myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's a topic for a different day.
I do believe we all carry family stuff, whatever you want to call it, karma, collective consciousness, country, with all these things that are happening in the world and all these changes and the shift of energy and the renewing, actually.
Yeah.
It's happening at a fast pace. But with your clients, okay, let's go back and look at the clients. Again, they have to be their own person.
Yeah. It's important.
And I think if the partner is happy to let them be and not try and change or manipulate them.
Yes.
Then it should be okay.
Love that. Okay, I think I'm happy, Denise. I just want to know, if someone then wanted to reach out to you and come through, is it fine for me to then share your contact?
I would be very happy if you do that.
Okay.
In whatever way they'd like to be part of our journey.
Yeah. And then is there anything that you would like to share with someone who's listening, maybe that I haven't asked about or tapped into?
I think I've said a fair bit.
Yo, thank you so much. I feel quite enlightened, I love having these conversations, and I just wanted to share my gratitude on the podcast to say thank you. I'm so excited. I think there's so much more that we're going to do together, and I'm happy.
Wonderful. I hope so.
I hope so too.
I look forward to it. And to the fact that maybe we can open people's vision.
Indeed.
In all respects. It's not only you, it's most people. The vision is totally tunnel.
Yeah. Tick. But thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to stop there.